Hello one and all, and welcome to the final 2021 Gold Cup preview. Yes, if you didn't hear the first three finals, we are officially in the final of the 2021 Gold Cup. The United States has beaten Qatar 1-0 in Austin, Texas to face up against their much-hated rivals, Mexico. This is the sixth time the pair have met in the tournament, which feels kind of low for how many tournaments the pair have won, which we've talked about, I think, in every single video, it feels like. In the 6 games the pair have played, Mexico has won 5 of them. This does not bode very well for the United States, and it does not bode any better for them, when I tell you the United States has been outscored in those 6 finals by a combined score of 16-3, with 2 losses coming at 5-0 to Mexico and 4-0 to Mexico. The only time the United States has beaten Mexico in a Gold Cup final was a 2-1 victory with Donovan and Benny Feilhaber scoring against Mexico, obviously, in the final in 2007. Other than that, all the other 5 United States victories in the Gold Cup have come against different teams. So this will be a massive test, and unsurprisingly, the Statesmen are huge underdogs, are pretty big underdogs going into this game, and we'll tell you why when we get to Mexico in a little bit. But for the United States, how they got here, we've obviously talked about winning their group, beating Canada on the last day of the group stage to finish atop their group with 9 points, then going to the knockout stage, beating Jamaica in the quarterfinals, and then against Qatar, beating Qatar 1-0 on an 86th-minute winner by Jassy Zardes. And after the game, or because of the result, I guess I should say, Greg Berhalter has now become the fastest coach to reach 25 wins for the national team. It's 34 appearances for him as the national team manager. And whether you rate Greg Berhalter that highly or don't rate him at all, or just you don't really have an opinion on him, and whether you think the players are carrying him and he's not worthy of coaching this national team, it's still pretty impressive to get 25 wins. The fastest ever out of all the managers the United States has ever had. The fastest ever, and I hope he reaches win number 26 with a win against Mexico in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium, home of the Las Vegas Raiders, and the most insane, I guess, end zone table DJ setup. That's the Raiders for you, summed up under Mark Davis. But back to the game against Qatar. For being only 1-0, there were some pretty exciting moments, more so on the Qatar side than for the United States. Qatar had a lot of really nice attacks in the first half, and Matt Turner, hey, you know what? Matt Turner made some great saves in the game against Qatar, and I would like to know in the comment section below how close you think the gap is between Matt Turner and Zach Steffen for that number 1 shirt for the United States A team. For the past few years, Zach Steffen's been relatively unchallenged for that number 1 shirt, and now with Horvath saving the penalty against Mexico in the CONCACAF Nations League final and Turner's performances in the 2021 Gold Cup, that gap is closing super fast. Let me know down in the comment section below how you rate Turner's performances this tournament so far. And that game against Qatar, like we said, was the best game he's played. Made some great saves, bailed the United States out on a couple appearances or a couple chances in this half. James Sands, like we said in the preview against Qatar, doesn't look too comfortable playing in that center back pairing. He looks a lot more comfortable in a back 3. And this game was the worst of the 2 games he's played in that back 2 for the United States. Miles Robinson had another great performance for the United States, and he's really pushing for that right-sided center back next to John Brooks in the A-team. We've already talked about that with Chris Richards, Mark McKenzie, Aaron Long, Walker Zimmerman, and now Miles Robinson. That's going to be a fun test to see who gets that spot. But James Sands gave up the penalty against Qatar, but thankfully, Mr. Shithouse himself, Kellen Acosta, was all over the penalty. Hassan El Haidous, the captain for Qatar, their most experienced player ever, 146 caps to his name, takes the ball, sets it down on the spot, and Kellen Acosta is in the referee's ear and El Haidous' ear the entire time. And I saw a video on Twitter. This is a great breakdown. Go and check out the video on Twitter. I'll link it down in the description below and post a little screenshot at some point on here. But it's a whole breakdown of Kellen Acosta and the penalties situation for Hassan El Haidous in his ear. Ref doesn't get him away till about a minute he's in the box. Until after a minute has passed, he's still in the box. He gets out or starts walking away. Someone bumps him. He engages on the action, and the ref has to separate them there. He engages in some more action, and all in all, the video shows it that El Haidous was on the spot for 2 minutes and 20 seconds before he takes a penalty. That is a lot of time to think about what you're going to do. In that first game that Qatar played in the tournament, he Panenka'd one down the middle, which is basically, for those of you who aren't aware, just a nice little dink, nice little chip right down the middle. So the goalie stands still, you look like a freaking idiot. But if you score it, oh, it's one of the best penalties because you had at least had the balls to take it. But if you miss it, if you want to see a bad Panenka penalty, look at the Ademola Lookman penalty for Fulham last year. One of the worst penalties you'll ever see. I'll put it up on screen now because it is awful. That is not how you do a Panenka penalty. And this game, Al Haidous tried to do the same thing, except this time he smashed it over the bar. It didn't like a rocket just shoot out at one angle. No, it was a nice little chip. He got two underneath it and raised it over the bar. And oh my goodness, that was insane. And to me, I know this was talked about a lot in the broadcast. To me, that was a clear penalty. I thought it was a penalty when the challenge went in. I was surprised that they didn't go into it a lot sooner, but it was a penalty. But either way, he didn't score it. It went over the bar, and the United States held on to get a 1-0 victory. Held it late, yet again, like they did against Jamaica with a Matthew Hoppe goal late. This time, a Jassy Zardes late goal. Just completely different things that happened in the last group stage game against Canada where they scored after 20 seconds. Like, you know what? That was too early. Let's go as late as we possibly can. 83rd minute or something like that with Matthew Hoppe. 86th minute with Jassy Zardes. So I'm expecting something in like the 90th minute against Mexico. But we'll get to the score predictions a little bit later. But all in all in the game, like we said, Matt Turner played very well. Miles Robinson played well yet again. Acosta was an absolute shithouse, which is awesome. That's a compliment. That's a compliment. It's not a diss against Kellen Acosta or anything. Busio and Leggett didn't look great. Busio was on set pieces, which was very nice to see, until he went off. And then we saw Sebastian Leggett back on set pieces, which, is whatever. Daryl Dike does not look healthy. I don't know what's wrong with him. It happened in the game against Canada. I don't know if it's a shoulder thing. He had a little bit of a strap on his shoulder, his left shoulder. And I noticed that as he was going down after a tackle in the game. I don't know if it's his shoulder. I don't know if it's something else, but he does not look fit. And I would be really shocked if he started this next game against Mexico in the final. And along with some other question marks in regards to starting lineup, do we see Christian Roldan get put in the starting lineup? In the last two games against Jamaica and Qatar, he's come on in the 63rd minute and has played great. He's looked very lively in midfield. I know a lot of fans are pining for Williamson to get a start in midfield. Christian Roldan has been putting in a lot of work at that midfield spot, coming in off the bench. But now there's obviously the argument to be made that Christian Roldan is a great super sub and not going to be used in the starting lineup. Similarly to that of Reggie Cannon, where he'll keep coming on late in the game, replace Shaq Moore after 60 or something minutes. That's what Christian Roldan's been doing. Do we see that against Mexico, or does he start? We'll get to that in a little bit as we go over the lineup. But yeah, got the dub. Not great, not a pretty performance, a lot of fun to watch with all the physicality and all the shit talking that was going on in the game. Matthew Hoppe had a very nice ball into the box for Daryl Dike that he just played right into the goalkeeper's legs, saved. But yeah, it was fun. For being 1-0, it was fairly exciting. You have to admit that. It was a fairly exciting game. Qatar had a lot of chances. The United States had some chances. There was a lot of talking. There was some fouls in it. There was a penalty miss. There was a late goal. It was a pretty fun game. You have to admit that. And then for Mexico, they played that same night, but in Houston, they took on Canada, and their side of the semifinals in Mexico came out victors 2-1. Orbelin Pineda scored a penalty in this game early in the game, right before halftime, in like the 47th minute or something. Completely fooled Maxime Crepeau. Similarly to the penalty that Riviere took against the United States, completely froze Maxime Crepeau. Got him going one way. He's like, oh crap, he's not going that way. And just passed it softly to the goalkeeper's left, his right into the corner. So Canada obviously got a goal in the game later, in about the 56th minute or something. Buchanan had a great run and a great shot across Telvera's box. Beautiful goal. Just a great goal all around. Great counterattack. Great individual effort from Buchanan on that goal. And then the penalty that we're talking about with Carlos Salcedo, not a great penalty whatsoever. Easy height. Didn't put it in the corner whatsoever. Easy height for him to save. Crepeau basically just had to lean to his right to save the penalty. Not great from Salcedo. And Mexico, though they missed the penalty, came back. Rodolfo Pizarro runs up the field. The nice little dink and dunk from Mexico down the left sideline. Rodolfo Pizarro gets past the defense and plays a ball across the box on the ground to a pretty much out of nowhere Hector Herrera, who plays a ball with his weak foot past Maxime Crepeau in like the 98th minute. Got really chippy at the end of the game, but it doesn't matter. Mexico comes out 2-1 victors. That was the first goal, Buchanan's goal. It was the first goal they allowed this entire tournament. They went through the group stage on 7 points, winning the group. They drew the game against Trinidad and Tobago. Very weird game for Mexico. You lost your best player in Irving Lozano. Hopefully he gets back and fully healthy. You don't want players hurt, especially like that. Hope he gets back and fully healthy. But they drew that game 0-0. Then they beat Guatemala 3-0. And then they beat El Salvador 1-0 to finish top of the group with 4 points, or with 7 points, with 4 goals, a plus 4 goal difference. Going to the knockout stage, beat Honduras 3-0, and then beat Canada 2-1 to advance to the final. And for Mexico, their best players in this tournament so far have been Funes Mori, a naturalized citizen for Mexico, formerly of Argentina. His brother plays for the Argentinian national team. He has just made the switch to Mexico in 2021. He made a claim, or he had an inkling, or put forward a request to switch nationalities in 2019. One of Mexico's biggest players this tournament is Rogelio Funes Mori, who switched nationalities from Argentina to Mexico. Now, he never made an official appearance for the Argentinian national team, but he had represented them under underage level. He had not have any parents or grandparents born in Mexico. So in the FIFA naturalization rules for switching nationalities basically read that 3 years residency would be required if a player moved before the age of 10, and 5 years residency if the move was aged 10 to 18. FIFA's existing rule already requires 5-year residency from the age of 18 if a player wants to acquire new nationality eligibility, or new national eligibility. Funes Mori has played in Mexico for the past few seasons for Monterrey, where he has scored at will for the Mexican club, and has made the transition to the Mexican national team. And since that transition, he scored 4 goals on 6 appearances and has been Mexico's joint leading scorer in the Gold Cup with 3 goals. Mexico's other top goal scorer for this term is Orbelin Pineda, who also has 3 goals. Obviously, joint top leading scorer. He's going to be tied with somebody. If I just said Orbelin Pineda is also joint top scorer, he's going to have 3 goals, obviously. He scored a penalty in the game against Canada. He scored that first goal in the 46th minute. As we said, completely froze Maxime Crepeau. And it's kind of weird how good he's been in front of goal this tournament. In the last 2 years, he's scored 4 goals, but in his entire national career, he scored 5. And his first goal, or he's made an appearance for the Mexican national team since 2016, and now he's becoming more of a prolific scorer. He's got 5 goals on 36 caps for the national team. Another key player for Mexico up top, who surprisingly hasn't scored a single goal in this tournament, is Jesus Corona, who plays his club football over in Porto, in Portugal. Obviously, he has 9 goals and 55 appearances for Mexico. He's been playing on that right wing, and that front three, obviously with the 2 top goal scorers for Mexico in this tournament, Funes Mori and Pineda, have played very, very well this tournament. Mexico has a lot of other experienced players in this team, namely the likes of Hector Herrera and Hector Moreno, the vice captain and the captain of this team. 116 caps for Moreno, 86 caps for Hector Herrera. They played in all the big games for Mexico, and they have been very key players for Mexico in this tournament. As we talked about, Hector Herrera scored the goal that got Mexico to the final, scoring in the 89th or 98th minute in the game against Canada with his left foot, past Maxime Crepeau. Very key player. Carlos Salcedo, even though he missed the penalty, is still a very important player for Mexico. Edson Alvarez is another very exciting player for Mexico. Younger player at 23, but at this point in time, he has 45 caps to his name. He plays his club football over there in Ajax. Another Eredivisie player is Eric Gutierrez. A little less caps, but still a very exciting player for Mexico as well. Luis Rodriguez at right back also has put in a goal this tournament, so look out for him to make streaking runs up the right side of the field. And in this tournament, Mexico has really mainly deployed a 4-3-3 formation, with Rodriguez streaking up the side at right back, with Moreno and Salcedo at center back, and a midfield 3 of Alvarez, Gutierrez, and then Jonathan Dos Santos, with obviously the front 3 you've talked about. And in net, Alfredo Talavera, though he doesn't have a ton of caps, still brings a lot of experience for Mexico in this tournament. He was the starting goalkeeper in the 2011 final that the United States lost 4-2. Now, this is a little different. He's a little older. There's no Clint Dempsey and Landon Donovan in this team. Mexico is big favorites in this game, and rightfully so. The United States has not done enough to really impress anybody, and the recent track record against Mexico in finals should lead people to believe that Mexico will win this final. But we'll get to the predictions a little bit later. Right now, let's go over the starting lineup for the United States. I'm 50-50 on this. Part of me thinks they'll run the back four again and go a 4-3-3, but against Mexico, I could totally see them going with a back three with Kessler, Sands, and Robinson back there, but I'm gonna keep it with the 4-3-3. I'm gonna keep it there for right now, but I do think the 5-3-2 is a possibility. But starting in net, Matt Turner, whatever formation you're running, Matt Turner is starting in net. That is a given. We all know Matt Turner is starting in net. We've already said the gap between him and Zach Steffen is closed significantly, and he was the man in the match against Qatar. Has to start every game this tournament, has allowed 1 goal, played great. Ball distribution has gone way up for him this tournament, which is getting a lot of fans more excited about him in the future. He's going to start this game and maybe challenge Zach Steffen for that number 1 jersey. The back four, same exact one as last time. Shaq Moore on the right, Sands Robinson in the middle, Sam Vines at left back. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if he goes with the back three just because of the game they're playing. Bigger games, some people like to play with the back three, have the team attack and go on the counterattack. And with Sands at second center back or back two, it has been shaky at times. So maybe he'll want to switch that up and play Kessler as that other center back with Sands and Robinson. I don't think Kessler will start if it's just a back two. I think the only way Kessler gets into this team is if it's a back three. But for right now, I'm going to stick with the back four. In midfield, I'm going to go with Sebastian Lletget, Kellen Acosta, and I'm going to stick with Gianluca Busio, even though I think Christian Roldan has a really strong chance to start this game. And why I think Busio over Lletget will lose a starting spot, because I think Greg Berhalter loves himself some Sebastian Lletget. A little too much at times. Busio got subbed off for Roldan in the game. Maybe we see a switch there in the midfield. I'm going to stick with Busio still. I would like to get a lineup exactly right once. We've been so close every single game apart from the game against Martinique. I'd like to get one exactly right, and that one could be an issue for me. Roldan or Gianluca Busio starting in midfield, and then a front three of Paul Arriola, Matthew Hoppe on the left, and then Jassy Zardes should definitely start up top as that main number 9 for the United States. DK's doesn't look very healthy. He missed a chance with a beautiful Matthew Hoppe cross, and Zardes scored the goal to win the game. And along with that, he just moved in the top 5 for total appearances in the Gold Cup. He just reached his 21st appearance. It'd be very nice to see number 22 be a start and number 22 come away with a goal and a win. That'd be fantastic. And if it does happen with a win, oh, that'd be so shocking. I think everybody would be shocked if the United States won this game. There's been nothing that should convince people that the United States will win this game. Every game, apart from Martinique, they've scored 1 goal in the last 2 games. They have scored in the 83rd and the 86th minute. I don't think this game will end up 1-0 this time. Even though every game apart from that Martinique game has been 1-0, I don't think this Mexico game will be. I am going to say, sadly, Mexico beats the United States 2-1 in the 2021 Gold Cup final. I said the United States would win last year. They didn't. I'm going to stay Mexico. So this might be some little reverse psychology here. Maybe Mexico hears this and go, oh, we've got this game in the bag. Logan Blackman from the Logan Blackman Show said that we're going to beat the United States and take their guard down, while the United States is like, oh, that's a big opinion that said we're going to lose. We're going to prove him wrong and then win. So that's the goal. That's what we're trying to do in this game. The United States, please use this as reverse psychology and beat Mexico. But I'm going to predict 2-1 for Mexico. Late goals for the United States. I mean, that's a staple this term. I think they'll be down 2-0 and then score a goal late and then try hard to push back into this game, but it won't be enough in the end, and Mexico will be crowned their 9th Gold Cup championship and beat the United States for the 6th time. Good Lord. That'd be really painful if the United States, it'd be a lot more painful if the United States had already beat Mexico in 2021 in the CONCACAF Nations final. But man, it's another tournament. The United States would love to win it. I just don't think they will. That's how I'm feeling right now in this game. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. We will have one more video. It'll be kind of a mixture of a recap and a Gold Cup squad mixed with a squad. Just basically a World Cup 2022 prediction video. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put together a squad of players who played very well, mix them with the A-team players, and put together a full 23-man squad that myself and Greg Berhalter will take to Qatar in the Winter World Cup in 2022. So that's all I've got for you today. The Gold Cup has been awesome to watch. The United States has made another final, which is always great to see. Hope they come back with a win. Be awesome. Beat Mexico. Beat them twice in the same year. Be freaking awesome for the rivalry. Keep the rivalry building up. And take that to Columbus for World Cup qualifying in November. Let's go, boys. Take home the 2021 Gold Cup final. If you don't, it sucks, but you move on. So with that being said, I'm Logan Blackman. I will see you all later. Peace.